Maybe your life didn't get lonelier once you started to heal your trauma or once you started to unmask. Maybe you're not as healed or unmasked as you think you are. And you're actually in a part of your healing and unmasking journey where you think that you're at this other side, but you're actually just in this isolation part of your healing and unmasking journey, where even though it was necessary for you to take a step back away from the world so that you can get to know yourself better, but maybe what you're not seeing is that in that isolation is where you're going to meet your ego and your protective coping mechanisms that you hold shame over. And when we meet that shame in our isolation phases, we can become really overwhelmed and scared. And maybe because of that, you find yourself in one of two spots, or you swing between both, where on one side you feel like you have to accept that you lose people whenever you start to get healthier, and maybe people don't like you as much when you're being authentic, and those same people themselves aren't even that healthy, so that's why they have to distance themselves from you, because they see that you're healthy and they themselves aren't healthy, which to some degree can be true, but it can also be your ego throwing up more protective coping mechanisms instead of better understanding yourself, your needs, and your boundaries. So it seems easier to isolate yourself than to take accountability for not enforcing your boundaries. And so you confuse isolating yourself from your triggers with actually healing from your triggers, which would actually require exposure to those triggers in a safe way so that you can learn to overcome them. Or you swing on the other side where you're not fully committed to trying to heal or unmask because you start to get in those isolation stages where everything seems dark and lonely. And since you don't commit to taking that much needed time to reflect and be alone with yourself because it feels uncomfortable to figure out what your needs and your boundaries are and how to accommodate those needs and how to enforce those boundaries. So you may end up putting yourself back around people and things that make you feel unsafe or make you feel like you have to self-abandon, all the while feeling hopeless and saying you don't understand why you feel so lonely and why people treat you so terribly. Oh my gosh, who said that?